Hi everyone, I'm Apollonia and Ponti. I am your dating and relationship coach, and in today's video we are going to talk about how to overcome approach anxiety. And I am joined by the wonderful Dan Silverman. Hi Dan.
Hey everybody, how are you? Thanks.
Dan is also a friend of mine that lives in Miami and also has been in the industry as well for a very long time. He is a dating coach and matchmaking expert, I like to say, because he's really good at it.
Thank you.
And he's located in Miami. And at Dan, special notification to everybody watching this video, is actually going to be coming along with me in my boot camp. So we decided for him to do some videos in regards to what he's an expert in, and that's approaching women, pickup, also overcoming anxiety and shyness and things like that. So Dan, thanks for being in the video with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm sure our viewers are going to love it. So let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. So how to overcome, approach anxiety.
Yeah.
Comes to me a lot with men, you know?
Yeah, that's the first step. Like when somebody finally decides they want to improve with their dating lives, approach anxiety is the very first problem that you have. And that comes from a lot of insecurities that you might have developed over the course of your life. Mm-hmm. And so trying to get over that first hurdle is literally the hardest step in the whole process. Yep. Once you overcome your approach anxiety, a lot of the rest of the steps are just so much easier, because then it becomes a little bit more technically based. When you're working with approach anxiety, you're dealing with your own mind. Your mind is like your own worst enemy. So what a lot of people try to do is they just try to like go out and do approach after approach after approach after approach. And in a way that there is some merit to that, but you have to work on the inner aspect as well. So you want to work on the outer portion of that and the inner portion of that. And what I mean by that is the inner portion is, what are your perceptions of the situation? You have to deal with the insecurities that you're starting to feel as you go out and you approach. Mm-hmm. But not just that, there are also techniques that you need to do to get better at approaching in general and not come off as really insecure. This is the hardest part for guys, is that if you're terrified to go out because you fear rejection, you're gonna get rejected. So the first step is to acknowledge that you're gonna get rejected like crazy.
Yep.
Like crazy.
And
that's okay, that's fine. Because even as someone who's an expert, I still get rejected like crazy too, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if I'm going out every day and I'm meeting women, even if let's say 9 out of 10 women reject me and I maybe approach 10 women a week, by the time the month is over, I'm dating 4 different women. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna really even remember any of the vicious rejections I may have had. Mm-hmm. Most of the time though, the worst rejection that you'll get is oh, thank you, and then they'll walk off. That's usually the worst that's gonna happen. Or a fake number. Or a fake number, that can happen too. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to be going out trying to get somewhere, trying to get a number or trying to get a woman's validation.
Exactly.
You should reward yourself by doing it and risking it. So if you walk up to a woman and you say hi and she tells you to go off or whatever, you've still done what you needed to do. You faced rejection and you went through it and you took it like a man, and that's something to be proud of. And if you can handle that, you can handle a fake number.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you said that. One of the things that I talk about a lot on this channel too when it comes to approaching women is don't approach in acceptance of validation, like trying to get validated from a woman that you've succeeded.
Yeah.
A woman doesn't tell you that you've succeeded. You tell yourself that you've succeeded, right? And how that comes about can be in your own personal mindset of how you feel about yourself and overcoming what's in here. And that's why I talk about the mindset steps, and actually talk a lot about that in my No More Friend Zone product, which I really encourage you guys to download if it is something that you want to overcome when it comes to your mindset, because your mindset is so important. Because as a woman, I can tell when a man comes up to me and has literally worked with a pickup artist, possibly, mm-hmm. not because of my industry, before I even got into this, because everything was robotic, right? And it wasn't natural, because I could tell he's still fighting in his head, and then he's still trying to come up with the next line to say mm-hmm. in order to try to impress me or pick up thing. And the biggest thing overall is the energy that's created from your mindset comes down to your body language. And if you are relaxed in your composure, you're picking up women relaxed and just with a simple hello. You don't have to have this pickup line. I don't know if you believe that, but I think that a simple hello can go a mile, and then just start a conversation from there. The reason why I love what you do is because you come from experience of this. You've had approach anxiety.
I used to be ridiculously shy when it came to women. I was terrible at it. Mm-hmm. So I've gone through the process. I wanted to say that when you're starting out, you are going to come off like that. You're going to come off like you're canned, and women are going to be a little weirded out by that. And that's perfectly normal, it's perfectly fine. You do have to go through that phase, but it's important because to get really good with women as a man, I mean, you could even say for women, it's the same extent. You can't need the woman's approval. You can't need her to have a positive reaction towards you. If you don't care, she's going to feel that and she's going to be more attracted to you. Confidence is the lack of insecurity. And you have insecurities because you want it to go so well. And so one of the exercises I like to do with men who feel really like afraid of rejection, that's their number one fear, is I like to do something called throwaways.
Ooh,
so
okay. Tell me a little bit about that. Don't give them it all too much because they have to come to our boot camp in LA.
That's fine.
Okay.
I could give them a little taste of it because they'll probably do a little bit of this and I'll be happy to do it with you. I would never tell somebody to do something I wouldn't personally do.
Yeah.
So for example, basically what it is you're trying to get rejected. So one of the things you could do is you walk up and you say, excuse me, can you do me a huge favor? You say, yeah, sure. She thinks you're gonna like ask her for directions. And you say, do you mind rejecting me? Like let's just pretend like I just came over here and I just want to hit on you. Like tell me to fuck off. Tell me like try to make me cry. Just really want to feel terrible right now.
So much.
Just do it. I need some of that right now, you know? And you're being playful, you don't care. And the funny thing is that every time you do this, they don't want to like hurt your feelings because they think it's hilarious. The worst that's going to happen is you'll just be like, what? No, I'm not going to do that. That's usually what happens. And then the funny thing is the funny and irony, the ironic thing about it is that only a confident guy would do something like that, and that can actually build attraction. Now, I'm not saying you want to do that with every approach you do, but you should have the attitude like, let's just see where this goes. It's like an adventure, like let's just see what happens. You never know.
Especially if you're feeling extra nervous that day, that's where you challenge yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you get the most of the work, and that's where you start to become comfortable, is when you start feeling comfortable in your uncomfortableness, if that's even a word. But that's the thing, is like, that's where, when you're feeling a little off maybe, and you're like, I can't do this, and you're all wrapped up in your mind, I think that is genius to do.
Thank you.
I think that's great.
It takes time to sometimes get to that point. Like for some people, that would be a terrifying exercise to do. So it's also important. Let's say you're first starting out with this. You need to give yourself challenges that are difficult, but you know you can do it. If you never go out at all and you haven't approached a woman in your entire life, your exercise will probably just be saying hello as you walk by. As you're walking by in the store, so you just say hi as you pass by, and you don't start conversations. It's like putting your toe in the water, but you start to get your mind used to approaching new women. You don't want to give yourself a challenge that's so hard that you wind up just doing nothing and you're anxious the whole time. That's actually going to set you back.
Exactly.
So if you give yourself a challenge and it's too hard for you to do, take a step back, do something that's a little easier, and then work your way up to the next challenge. I have a whole series of challenges that can get you up to the point where you can just approach like a madman, but I can always show you that when you come up and I see you in LA.
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned that too, because I have a seminar called Master Your Confidence Audio Seminar, and I tell men all the time, if you are someone that has never approached women and has never even had a conversation, or some viewers have never had a girlfriend, you know? And the thing about that is you have to understand your surroundings. So what I say is, before you give yourself a game plan to do something that's so out of your normal, make a game plan of your surroundings. So what do? So you go to work. Okay, is it an office environment? Yes, I work on the 12th floor. Okay, so how can you engage in people in the elevator? How can you smile? How can you get out of the comfort zone in your day-to-day activity first, and then you start take baby steps to bigger and better things? So I think that's really good too. What would you, and I want to finish it off with this. What would you tell a man, because I see this a lot in the comments on YouTube, not a lot with the men that I work with, just more in the comments, that say, gosh, like, why do I have to do all the work? Why can't women just approach me?
Well, too bad, tough titty for you. That's not the way the world works. And if you want it to be that way, then you might as well go fly to Mars and see if it works there, because it's never going to happen. You shouldn't complain about things that you can't change. You should do what you can with what you can control, and that's yourself.
Exactly. I'm so happy you said that, because it's the same thing I say, but it just always sometimes sounds different to men that say it to men, because they think I'm going to be hypocritical to them.
No, I have another piece of advice.
Yeah, go ahead, share.
Make as much money as you can, get yourself to be like 6'6" tall and famous, and then you can have women approach you. There, that's no
Great.
piece of advice.
That was amazing. Thanks, Dan. Oh my God, I love that. Okay, so the point of that is not saying that you have to be a multimillionaire to get women, but if you want to have women at your tippy toes and basically bowing down to you, and most of those women will be the unemotional or unavailable or just really insecure women at times, will be those type of women. So to sum it up, we can bring this down to, and I always say this, there's a reason why a woman is attracted to masculine energy, and there's a reason why a man is attracted to feminine, nurturing energy. And leading and assertiveness is all in masculine energy. So that's why, and that's how attraction is built. So if you like today's video, I really recommend you to comment below so we can hear from you, and also tell us what else you want to hear from us. Tell us also if you're going to be coming to LA for the bootcamp, as we would love to see you there. Give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to put Dan's information below in the comment box as well. And any last words, Dan?
No, I think we're good to go. I hope to see you all in LA.
All right, guys. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.